What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shuggy from Shook Earth Media, and today we are reviewing Life is Strange Coming Home Issue 2. I just put out my general impressions of the series up to this point on the channel this week. I got some good feedback from that video, so I figured why not do issue by issue reviews. So that's what we're doing today. Now this issue, it's a thick boy.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
It's about a double-sized issue. It's priced accordingly. I think that explains why these issues were delayed. Seems like they now want to move to a longer format here. And honestly, it feels like they're padding it out a little more because of that. I don't know that it feels like the plot's moving any faster now that the issues are longer. But we do have, some scenes that they probably wouldn't have time for without that extension. Like we have this dream scene here, which is a nice scene. I do like it, but we could have done without it because we have the scene at the end that we'll get to. But I enjoy it, and it's nice to see them together again, of course. And now we're back with Max and Pixie, and now we're getting it clarified that Max can localize her rewinding ability to a specific object instead of just time in general. So her power is getting expanded a little bit, which I suppose makes sense given that, the series is continuing. I don't know that we really need that, but maybe it'll have some payoff. And now we have the other Pixie and our Chloe. And again, I like all these scenes. There's nothing particularly wrong with these scenes. I just feel like they go on a little long. It's good to have Victoria in the book again. She's getting some development. She's a character that we hated at first, and then it's kind of hard not to feel bad for her at the end of the original Life is Strange, and we've kind of continued that journey here. But I feel like here we get to see some of her old self, so that's good to see. Now this scene here, I found real unnecessary. I'm not sure why the scene is here. She's at a Katrina memorial and she just happens to talk to a passerby and has this really deep conversation. I mean, I don't know. This just didn't really feel very realistic to me. I don't know. I don't have conversations this deep with strangers very often, if at all. So, I don't know. It just felt a little forced. Like, is this lady waiting around for somebody to stop by at some point? But, I mean, the point they're making about, you can have your personal grief despite a lot of things going on. Yeah, I guess I can get on board with the sentiment. But, honestly, that scene could have been cut out, in my opinion. But I guess we have that in there because there's a storm building up later, and it's important to remember the devastation of that, I suppose. But I don't know. Maybe it would have been better if she ran into somebody who lost people in Arcadia Bay, and she would have more of a personal connection to it. Maybe that would have been a little better. But yeah, I wasn't really that into this scene, but that's okay because it's very brief. So we get this nice scene with the other Chloe and Rachel waking up. I'm not really sure what this is, this rat-a-tat-a-tat stuff. I don't know. That kind of confused me. I don't know what I missed there. Somebody please feel free to explain it in the comment section below. But yeah, no, it's cute. I like it. Oh, there's one thing I wanted to point out. Yeah, she says, Pixie, I'm not a microwave. I mean, you're way better for the environment, for starters. Well, not so sure about that. I mean, considering the storm in the original game, but maybe it wasn't. Somebody in the comments of my last review said maybe it wasn't her that caused the storm, and maybe that's not the case, but that's what I thought was implied. But if that is the case, then she's definitely not better for the environment. And also, I'm pretty sure the printers that made this comic and the trucks that moved this comic probably have a bigger environmental impact than using the microwave to heat up a coffee cup. But we're just getting nitpicky. It's really fine. Okay, and here we get our first hint that we're going to see Steph in this. And I know Steph is in the new game that's out this week, so I feel like, that's a tie-in with the new game, which makes sense from a marketing standpoint. And, I don't mind her being there. And then we have this scene of Tristan and Pixie. And again, these scenes are all good, but I just feel like they could have done with a little bit of truncating, a few more drafts maybe, and just like condensing things, just to keep things moving along. Again, the artwork in this is just great, so it's really hard to complain too much. Now we have this scene where we get to see that our Chloe was also having the same exact dream, which I'm assuming is going to have some kind of significance, given what happens at the end. And we got this cool little butterfly conservatory thing that they're at, and they're discussing their plan. Then we get them on the stage. This is another page where it's like, this page could have been cut, like it wasn't really all that necessary, but it's still fun. And then Tristan appears out of nowhere just to test out his ability, which actually ends up being a shame because they could have used him at the conservatory. And then it's revealed he's got a crush on this guy, which I didn't pick up on earlier. I don't know if that was established before, but I don't know. I didn't really see that coming. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think of him that way, but it's okay. It's cute. And then we got Steph coming in here. It's a bit of a coincidence that she's there, but of course there's the marketing thing with the new game, and she's an alright character. I haven't played True Colors yet. Maybe we'll play that soon on the channel here. But, honestly didn't make that much of an impression on me in Before the Storm, aside from just playing Dungeons and Dragons. But, maybe I'll grow to love her in the new game. We'll see. We got this fun little callback to Before the Storm, because Steph was there when Chloe, and it turns out, I suppose this timeline's Chloe also did it, where she went on stage for The Tempest, which is a really memorable scene in the original game. Or not the original game, but Before the Storm. So that was a great scene I really liked in the original, in that game. So it's nice to see a little callback. But again, not entirely necessary, but I like the callback, so I'm going to complain less about that one. Now this scene is just great. We got this butterfly that's feels like it's split between two timelines. And they both notice each other. Got two splash pages back to back. I feel like this scene would have been more impactful if we hadn't seen the dream scene at the beginning. Because with the dream scene in the beginning, we already got a little reunion. And I feel like at this point in the story, they should be missing each other. But maybe that's what they're trying to go for, is that they're missing each other. But as the audience, we already saw them together in this issue. So this part seems a little less impactful. Maybe if they did less of maybe if they didn't kiss in the beginning, it would feel a little more impactful if they couldn't touch each other. And again, here's another situation with a stranger that they just start talking to. But I feel like if I saw somebody talking to themselves, I'm not about to approach them. They might be a little crazy, Just saying. I like this little near miss situation here, and yeah, all this is good. And then there's a storm coming, and this is what I've been waiting for. So we've been waiting to see the storm here. And still, I don't really care about any of the other bandmates, really. I mean, Pixie's cool. I guess we've discussed in my last video about how, feels a little unnecessary to have her have superpowers at this point. But, I've accepted it. We're moving forward with that. And that's going to be a major part in the story going forward. So I'm just not going to complain about it. We're just going to move on. So yeah, and then we get Prelude to the Storm. They're not going on stage. And, it's a bit... Max is still showing a bit of selfishness, even though there's a storm, a serious situation going on. She's like, my plan, which it is in character. So I like that. And then we end on a hopeful note with her saying that she's not going to let a storm take her down again. She wants to win against the storm this time. So I think that sets up the next arc interestingly. I didn't expect this particular arc to be only 2 issues, but now that they're supersized issues, it makes sense. Now, honestly, I know they definitely did this for the purpose. This Life is Strange 2 Colors. They did this in the last issue as well. And this dialogue, it's just from the trailer, which I think is the opening of the game. I haven't played it yet, but I think it's the opening scene from the game. And it just feels like that's all they had to go on when they were writing this. Which, So they just have her in the bus repeating dialogue from the trailer, essentially. So, I don't really know what the point of it is. I mean, the art is fine, but it's not, it's not really making me want to play the game any more than I already did. So, I don't really know that it's working for me. So it says that it's going to be continued in Free Comic Book Day here, down at the bottom left corner. And I'm assuming that since I've seen the cover and it has Max and Chloe on it, that it's going to be half and half between that and True Colors, but it makes sense to have True Colors in there as well because it's a new game, and of course they want to use this free comic book as a sort of advertisement, so all that makes sense. Now they have all the covers here, and I do like that they show all the variants. I'm actually surprised that they have 5 variants for every issue. It's a lot. I think you expect to see that only for a number 1, but maybe this comic is more popular than I was expecting, but seems like a lot of variants. I will say I do like cover B the best. It is the cover done by the internal artist and colorist, and honestly, I'm a big fan of the art, so they do such a good job with it that even when the story drags on a little bit, the art keeps me coming back. So I would have preferred to get it cover B actually, but this cover's a little different. It's a nice different little style, so it's okay too. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and we're gonna be reviewing these comics as they come out, and I'm still enjoying them. I'm excited to see the next arc, which is called Settling Dust, which I find a little confusing actually, because the first collection of this comic is called Dust, so I don't know if that's supposed to be a bookend thing where the end has a similar name to the beginning, and it's a callback type of situation. That would make sense, but it is a bit confusing, but it works out. So yes, this gets a thumbs up. I like this comic a lot still, and yeah, still all my criticisms from the previous review still apply, but it is a good issue. I did enjoy it. So yeah, that's my review. Thanks guys. See you on the next one.